Hello, children. It is Dad, and I am here with the start of our newest story, The Snow Queen. So, I hope you are all doing well, and without further ado, I shall begin. The Snow Queen. Look, now we'll begin. When we have gotten to the end of this story, we shall know more than we do now. For it was a wicked gnome. It was the very worst of the lot. It was, in fact, the evil one himself. One day, when he was in a good mood, he made a looking-glass, which is a mirror, which had this peculiarity. Everything good and fair, which mirrored itself therein, vanished into nothing. But anything that was no good, or was foul to look at, stood right out and became even worse when it was in the mirror. In this mirror, the loveliest landscapes looked like cooked spinach, and the best men became ugly or stood upon their heads. Faces were so distorted that no one could recognize them, and anyone who had a freckle might be quite certain that it would appear as if it ran right over the nose and the mouth. If a good, pious thought passed through a man's mind, such a grimace would appear in the mirror that the evil one laughed fit to split at his cunning invention. All those who went to the gnome school, run by the evil one, proclaimed far and wide that a miracle had happened. Now at last, they said, one could see how the world and mankind really looked. They ran about with the mirror till there was not a land or a person which had not been distorted on its surface. And now they wanted to fly up to heaven itself and make fun of the angels. The higher they flew with the mirror, the more broadly it grinned. In fact, they could scarcely hold it. Higher and higher they flew, nearer to the sun, and then the mirror shook so frightfully that it flew out of their hands and plunged down upon the earth, where it was smashed into millions and billions of pieces. Then it worked even more mischief than before. Some of the pieces of glass were no larger than grains of sand, and they flew around the world, and whenever they got into people's eyes, they stayed there. And people saw all things distorted, or had eyes for nothing but what was improper in a thing. For every tiny grain of glass possessed the same power that the whole mirror had. Some men even got a little looking-glass splinter in their hearts, and the result was shocking. Their hearts immediately became lumps of ice. Some of the splinters were so large that they were used for window panes, but it was not right to view one's friends through these panes. Other pieces were made up into eyeglasses. When people put on the glasses to see better and be fair and just, a pretty mess they made of it. The evil one laughed till his sides shook, and the whole thing tickled him so deliciously. But other splinters flew up into the air, as you shall presently hear in story number 2 of the Snow Queen. Well, there we go. Here's a little picture of the evil gnome guy. And then tomorrow, we shall move on to chapter 2. It's a little boy and a little girl. It's chapter 2 of the Snow Queen. But anyways, I'm glad we got that taken care of there and started out that story. I hope you are all doing very well. I love you and I miss you, and I can't wait until the next time that I see you. I hope you're all doing really well. I love you. See you soon. Bye-bye.